Obviously, at this point, we know that Henry Cavill is not going to be giving us Man of Steel 2. He is done as Superman. He is retired from the role. He has hung out the cape, and Superman will be recast for the DCU with, of course, we know, just announced the other night that we're getting a brand new Superman movie. It's a reboot. James Gunn is writing the script, possibly may even direct it himself. It's going to be a much younger version of Superman. So, Henry Cavill is done as Superman, and Man of Steel 2 is not happening, which of course is super unfortunate after just getting his grand return in the post-credit scene of Black Adam, and, it being supposedly confirmed, or at least confirmed at the time, that, hey, Man of Steel 2 is happening, a new Henry Cavill Superman movie is in development, and now it's not. So this has been canceled, but now we actually have the plans for those canceled ideas of Man of Steel 2 revealed, because Stephen Knight actually did a full treatment for Man of Steel 2. He had a whole story laid out for this film, and now since it's canceled and it's not happening, we got to see what those plans were, and those plans were indeed Brainiac. So Brainiac was going to be the main villain of Man of Steel 2, at least in Stephen Knight's treatment, and this would have been amazing. And I think what we all wanted, because Brainiac is one of Superman's best villains. He's one of his most formidable villains, because when it comes to Superman, it's always kind of hard to do a Superman story because of how powerful he is, unless you do another Kryptonian like they did with Zod in Man of Steel. So Brainiac is such a cool Superman villain because it's the opposite of Superman. Superman is powerful strength-wise, but Brainiac is so powerful because of his smarts and his intellect, and because he's basically a supercomputer alien robot, which is awesome. So to see this battle would have been amazing, and especially seeing this would have mean Superman probably going to space, and we know that Henry Cavill actually wanted Brainiac as the villain, and was really excited to face off against this character one day. And I remember that in Zack Snyder's original plans, when he was, still at DC, and when he was going to do a Man of Steel 2, Brainiac was going to be the villain. I talked about it on the channel previously, that his original plans for that film included both Brainiac as the villain, as well as also introducing Supergirl, who we know Supergirl is going to be in next year's The Flash movie, played by Sasha Calle. So even though this is years later and this is a different version of Man of Steel 2 without Zack Snyder, I wouldn't be surprised if Supergirl would have been part of that. Maybe Sasha Calle's Supergirl. So that would have been awesome, but it's not happening, and it has been canceled, which, again, is just really unfortunate. But I'm just hoping that one day we do get this on the big screen, because so far, we've had a couple versions of Brainiac on the small screen on Smallville. There was a version or couple versions on Supergirl. Probably the best version, though, by far, is on Krypton. Just like how that gave us the best live-action version of Lobo, that gave us the best live-action version of Brainiac. Super comics accurate looking, great adaptation, great version of the character. So I'd love to see something like that done on the big screen. I doubt that this new Superman reboot movie is going to be Superman versus Brainiac, because we know it's going to be a kind of origin story where it's not going to go through his time in Smallville. He's going to start off with him in Metropolis, but it'll probably be about him starting off at least early years as Superman, and we know that's a younger version of the character, so I doubt it's going to be his first movie. Like, first thing he does as Superman is go fight Brainiac out in space. They're probably going to start smaller. There's the possibility of Jason Momoa, Aquaman, being Lobo for that film, or maybe they'll do a smaller villain, maybe do Parasite, something like that. Will be really awesome, but Brainiac, again, hopefully we get this someday in the future. It's just really unfortunate that we were so close, once again, to getting Henry Cavill's Man of Steel 2 with Brainiac as the villain, and now it's not happening. So, yeah, it's really unfortunate, but sacrifices have to be made. They kind of have to start from scratch for this new universe, this new DCU, reboot it. There's just too much baggage with the DCEU. But man, what could have been? So anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this news that we almost got Brainiac versus Henry Cavill's Man of Steel in Man of Steel 2? So thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything goes on in the DC life.